tried to carve out a non-aligned stance and want to hedge their bets somewhat.
Well, I understand the long game, and I know sanctions take time, but in the long term here, Putin could win. As you know, Europe and the United States have designed a set of sanctions and export controls to basically try to cap the price of Russia's oil at $60.
Yes.
Now, we both know that's not terribly punitive because China and India are paying a whole lot less than $60 a barrel to China.
In part because of the cap, Senator.
And you mentioned, if we really want to cut off Putin's cash flow, why don't we set that cap at the marginal cost of production for Russia?
Yeah,
to follow up on what Senator Menendez said. Now you've done something. Why don't you do that?
I think we can get there.
Well, what are we waiting on?
Well, first you got to build a coalition. You got to get enough countries to have a coalition that has bargaining power, that can actually influence the global price of oil, because that's what we pay. And now we've got a 37 or so country coalition that's influencing the price that Russia can sell its oil to.
On Capitol Hill, the heat just got turned up. Senator John Kennedy is back, and this time he's taking the Biden team to task over Russia, oil, and sanctions that, frankly, just aren't cutting it. Kennedy jumps in with zero hesitation. He points out that only a third of the world's population is actually backing sanctions against Russia. Shouldn't we be doing a better job convincing the rest? He asks, staring down Mr. Singh from the Biden administration.
I want to talk just for a second about sanctions with respect to Russia, which I support. I think most of us do. Only a third of the world's population lives in countries that have both condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine and have agreed to join into the sanctions imposed by the United States and the West. Mr. Singh, doesn't the Biden administration need to do a better job of getting the world's neighbors on board?
Senator, thank you. As a self-critique, I wish we had a broader coalition, but I wouldn't want to make the mistake of conflating population with power. These sanctions work where we have an asymmetric advantage. The world's major reserve currency issuers, with the exception of China, are all part of this sanctions regime. So we collectively deny foreign capital to Russia. That's what matters. We collectively have the world's major designers and producers of cutting-edge technology within the sanctions regime. It may not represent the majority of the world's population, but it's the group that matters.
Singh tries to reassure him. It's more than just numbers. It's about money, technology, and who holds the real power. But Kennedy's face says it all. If Putin's still raking in billions, what good are those fancy coalitions? Then Kennedy shifts focus. What about India? Why can't we get them on board? Singh says they're working on it, playing the long game, but Kennedy's not having it.
So we're delivering impact.
Let me stop you for a moment, and I apologize.
No problem.
The time goes by so quickly. Why can't the Biden administration convince India to help us?
We're trying. I tried. I went there, and we've had a steady stream of officials go to India and try to work with the deal space that we have. I think we've got quite a bit of leverage because of the relationship that we're building across trade, energy, infrastructure, finance, defense. I think we got to play the long game with countries that have historically tried to carve out a non-aligned stance and want to hedge their bets somewhat.
Well, but I understand the long game, and I know sanctions take time, but in the long term here, Putin could win.
In the long term, Putin could win, he warns. Too much talk, not enough action. And then, boom, he goes after the so-called $60 oil price cap. It's not working, Kennedy argues. China and India pay less. It's not hurting Putin. He demands, why not cut the cap even further? Hit Russia where it hurts, right in the wallet.
As you know, Europe and the United States have designed a set of sanctions and export controls to basically try to cap the price of Russia's oil at $60.
Yes.
Now, we both know that's not terribly punitive because China and India are paying a whole lot less than $60 a barrel to China.
In part because of the cap, Senator.
And you mentioned, if we really want to cut off Putin's cash flow, why don't we set that cap at the marginal cost of production for Russia?
Yeah,
follow up on what Senator Menendez said. Now you've done something. Why don't you do that?
I think we can get there.
Well,
think we
what
can
are
get
we
there.
waiting on?
Well, first you got to build a coalition. You got to get enough countries to have a coalition that has bargaining power, that can actually influence the global price of oil, because that's what we pay. And now we've got a 37 or so country coalition that's influencing the price that Russia can sell its oil to. Not only to us, but we're not importing any.
I get it. I understand it, and I understand the politics of it. You've got to worry about the price of gasoline, too.
Yeah.
In America. I get all that. But what are we waiting on?
Singh says they're looking into it, but Kennedy's already thinking about every single day that Putin cashes in.
I mean,
Well, look,
the longer we wait, I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that Putin has misjudged the people of Ukraine.
Yes.
And it's becoming clearer and clearer that President Xi has misjudged President Putin. He believed him, that he could roll into Kiev like thunder on a summer night. Now, you say on the one hand, that's good. On the other hand, that makes both Xi and Putin desperate, which I think is why Xi is talking about sending arms to Putin. Why don't I understand the politics of it, but why don't we just go to our friends in Europe and say, look, we're going to either win this thing or not. Now, this $60 cap on oil, we both know that's not having a serious effect. It's having some effect. I don't mean to criticize your work. But if you really want to strangle them, reduce that cap down to the marginal cost of production for Russia, and you cut off their cash flow.
Senator, I think two things can be true. We are having an effect. His oil and gas revenues are down almost 50% year over year. But you're right that we can do more. For example,
do it. Why aren't we doing it?
Well, I'm no longer in the administration. Maybe we are working on it.
Yeah, but you got friends there.
Sure. Maybe we are.
Kennedy doesn't stop there. He warns, desperate men make dangerous decisions. Putin miscalculated Ukraine, Xi might miscalculate Putin, and now China's talking about sending weapons. Kennedy's message, this is no time for caution, it's time for bold action. And here's the kicker, Europe relies on us. Without America, Putin could be in Paris right now. Kennedy's done waiting. He wants Europe to step up, and he's not afraid to say it.
I mean, I don't mean to just pick on you.
Well, no,
but you're a very
these are
smart
fair
guy, and I've
questions.
learned a lot listening to you. Gentlemen, do y'all have any thoughts on that?
I think you make very fair points. Daleep's point is a very good one, which is it's just hard sometimes to build a coalition. If you saw the argumentation within the EU over the $60 price cap was as far as I could tell from an outsider's view, a knockdown, drag-out fight within the EU. And so, because I think there were countries like Poland who wanted a much lower cap, but then there were other countries who wanted a higher cap.
Well, and excuse me if you interrupt them, but
Yeah.
I'm about out of time. Let's just face reality. Okay. Europe, if we've learned nothing from this, we've learned that Europe is totally dependent on the United States of America for its security, period. And were it not for the United States of America, Putin would be in Paris right now. I think we need to get a little tougher and firmer on our friends in Europe.
So, what do you think? Is Kennedy right? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you want stronger leadership, and subscribe to Hot News Today for more straight talk from the halls of power. Stay bold, stay alert.